Hey everyone, thank you all so much for tuning in. I am not feeling great today, so this is going to be a short video. I apologize, but I did want to take a minute to address the super cool trailer that Insomniac just dropped at PlayStation's State of Play today for Spider-Man 2. Recently, I did a poll on Twitter asking people if they thought Spider-Man 2 was going to be the greatest superhero game of all time. Overwhelmingly, most responses were saying either yes or that it would at least be in the top 3, and I couldn't agree more. See, I really enjoyed the first game. I had a few nitpicks with it. I thought that having to go and dismantle all of the network towers around the city before you could even see the map was a really dumb choice. I thought that a lot of the side missions leaned far too much into just being collectibles without much payoff. Sometimes the boss fights could feel a little underwhelming or the story could feel a little bit slow-paced, but again, all of those were nitpicks. None of those were deal breakers for me, and I really enjoyed the game. Between that and Spider-Man Miles Morales, I was really excited to see where the story would go next, but also how the gameplay and the open world would evolve, and today that's exactly what their overview trailer explored, was how much they have improved the open world since last time. The trailer started by reinforcing some cool things that we already know about the game, the fact that you can play as both Peter Parker and Miles Morales in the open world. You can play with the symbiote suit when you're playing as Peter Parker. Miles will have his bioelectric abilities. There's obviously a great story with great story missions, but this time around it looks like there's also some very compelling side missions. Rather than just being collectibles that you track on the map, there's going to be visual cues around the city that lead you down full-on villain quest lines. This is where they announced that Mysterio is in the game. Not verbally, but they showed side missions that appear in the open world that appear to be connected to Mysterio. And then they showed a character model that I would be shocked if it doesn't turn out to be Mysterio. It gets me really excited to see the villains that they've chosen for this game. I did enjoy a lot of the villains of the first game, especially Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative, I think, was far and away the best villain of Spider-Man 1, and I didn't hate what they did with Tinkerer and Miles Morales. I thought the story was a little too brief to really fully give her a great arc, but I thought that it was an interesting take on the Tinkerer. But in Spider-Man 2, we have freaking Venom, we have Lizard, Kraven, Mysterio. If the tablet that Kraven looks at is to be believed as villains that will pop up in the game, we will have Prowler, Black Cat, Shocker, Wraith. We've seen Wraith too, so there's going to be a great catalog of villains to take on in this game. Not only that, but in the other trailer that they uploaded today showing off what you get if you essentially get the collector's edition of the game, or whatever they're calling it, the more expensive version, you get more suits, but they were showing off what looked like a boss fight with Lizard just around the city. And that was another huge nitpick from the first game, was that many felt that the boss fights were a little underwhelming. It felt a little bit too much, just like fighting a regular thug. That does not appear to be the case here. It looks like everything with Venom, Lizard, and I'm sure with many of the other villains have been really just dialed up to an 11. It looks like they have just taken so much time and care to make this game right, and I really appreciate that. This doesn't feel like a copy and paste of the first game. Obviously, it's built upon the foundation and DNA of that first game, but this isn't like a yearly release where we're going to get a new Spider-Man game every year and it's going to be a copy and paste of the same game just with new villains and new weather. I love that Insomniac is instead really taking the time to do it right. They're taking the Arkham approach that Rocksteady did so well on previous generations of hardware. If you guys can remember, the graphical and gameplay leap from Arkham City to Arkham Knight was unbelievable. Similarly, Spider-Man 2 looks way better graphically, just thanks to better lighting, better textures, more clean animations, but even more important, everything from fast travel to switching between characters to side content looks greatly improved. I was also very happy to see the Friendly Neighborhood app make a return. That was one of my favorite features in Miles Morales, and it helped the city feel more lived in. I liked that it helped me get to know a lot of the civilians around New York City, and it raised the stakes when they were in danger. I also appreciate that Queens, Brooklyn, and Coney Island aren't just more procedural generated buildings. Not that Manhattan is. I think that they did a great job with Manhattan, and I just love that they have added that same attention to detail to this new area of the map. It really does feel like Spider-Man 2 is bigger and better, but not just for the sake of having quantity over quality. They've added a lot more content. It looks like a massive game, and with that being said, everything about it looks better than the last time we swung around New York City. But now I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about what we saw from Spider-Man 2 at the State of Play event today? How excited are you for the game, and do you think it's going to be the best superhero game of all time? Also, check back in tomorrow morning. I wasn't able to attend the preview event that many creators were able to attend where they got to play Spider-Man 2, but I do have a video going live where I would like to discuss the difference between Spider-Man and some other superhero games that have come out recently. Marvel's Avengers and Gotham Knights both got pretty mediocre reviews, and Marvel's Avengers lost $63 million. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League hasn't launched yet, but there's a large level of criticism and skepticism from the community after having seen the gameplay for that game. That is not the case with Spider-Man 2. And in tomorrow's video, I would like to go over why that is. What's the difference? What is Insomniac doing that these other companies aren't? Why aren't these other superhero games gelling with the community, but Spider-Man 2 really is doing the job? So make sure to tune in tomorrow when I try to dissect that and break that down as best I can. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more, and we will see you guys in the next one.